Okay, I'm live. Uh, am I live? Please, please, please do something. Am I live? Okay, I guess. Alright, now it shows me. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Venus in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. And what happens when Venus is in the sign of Virgo or Leo, or I should say Leo or Virgo, and especially between Leo 26.40 degrees of Leo to 10 degrees of Virgo, this sector of the sky is known as Uttara Phalguni. Okay? It actually signifies later fruits. And Uttara Phalguni is a nakshatra. I believe its deity is Aryaman, who is pretty much the god of connections, the god of who deals with all the, nitty-gritty details, making business deals, who does all the things related to pretty much being a business, somebody who kind of like takes care of all the administration of the kingdom. Because see, Leo is all about being a king, being pleasureful, having, 10 women around you, feeding you food. Like that's the regal royal sector of the sky. That's why you have Magha and Purva Phalguni there, which is the ancestral throne. Like you're born to be a king. If you're born to be a king, you will be a king regardless of how bad or good you are. Then you have Purva Phalguni. Regardless of your deeds, you are going to enjoy life. You are going to get the fruits of your, some past life results. So you could be a serial killer, but you could be living a multi-million-dollar life. You could have yachts. You could have, all the money in the world. But why is it that a bad guy is getting all the good stuff in life? Well, that's because of the fact they're activating some past life good deed they might do. So just becoming active in this particular part of life. But at the same time, some other karma is also coming where they are becoming the bad guy. And if you want to know, really get screwed up in the head about karma, they're pretty much killing the people who actually harmed their people or them in past life. So all the murders a serial killer may commit, it has some linkage to the past life, but that's going to be like a whole lecture. If I was to get into that, I mean, nobody, first of all, will ever agree to any of these things. Nobody will ever try to understand it. Less than probably, I would say 0.2% people will understand it. But Purva Phalguni, okay, is a nakshatra that is all about related to relationship, marriage, contracts, binding, bondage, long-term bondage. It's a nakshatra that always sees to be in a relationship. So now you're putting the planet that controls relationship in Uttara Phalguni, which is Venus. Venus is what? Relationship, love, marriage, spouse, girlfriend. Venus represents even a wife for somebody who's a lesbian. Venus represents beauty, arts, creativity, art history. Venus represents semen. Venus represents DNA. Like if you ever want to go into DNA research, you have to have Venus support. You can't do it without Venus. As much as people think it's Moon and Jupiter, DNA is specifically is Venus because Venus is semen. The DNA gets transferred through semen so a human body can be created. So Venus becomes very important. Venus is also Shukracharya, the teacher who just gives out information, who wants to teach everybody, who wants to make everybody better. And that's the thing about Venus I learned, especially about Shukracharya from Dr. Arjun Pai. And this is my conclusion actually with Venus. Why Venus is so great, and Venus should be actually elevated to just as an important status as Jupiter has when it comes to culture, rituals, everything. Because remember, Jupiter's job is to discriminate. Jupiter will only pick one student out of the 10. When Jupiter, the back in the days, the astrologer sees the horoscope, they're like, okay, you are the only one worthy of getting this knowledge because you'll be able to understand it, you'll be able to comprehend it, you'll be able to test it diligently, and you'll be able to master it. Fine. That's the easy way out, actually. That's my personal opinion. That's the easy way out. The much harder way is with Venus. Venus takes everybody in. Good, bad, ugly, and person who can't even understand something. And Venus's job is now to make this person understand what it's trying to transfer and show as far as knowledge and Vidya is concerned. That takes a higher form of mastery. It's easy to find somebody who's a great genius and then they'll learn books on their own and the professor doesn't have to do anything. He knows, I got the smart student, they'll get an A no matter what. I'm good. My job is just to easily give some lecture. But it's hard to teach someone like me physics. So Venus, what it'll do, Venus will create all these different experiments, fun experiments to talk about physics. Venus will have all these little gizmos and gadgets. Say, hey, let me show you about physics. So now that brain can understand. This is why Venus is so beautiful, such a beautiful planet. It needs to be well respected. It's not just about love and sex and luxury. Venus is all about teaching somebody who's not able to learn. So now you're putting Venus in this particular nakshatra. Now, there's two sides to it, right? There's that Leo side, there's that Virgo side. So the overall basic concept of this Uttara Phalguni, and you got to remember, this is particularly your spouse. This is particularly your married spouse, whether you're male or female. But it also represents a wife for a man and may represent a girlfriend, especially a very strong relationship. If you're just dating people, that's more of a Mercurian thing. So don't be like, oh, I'm not this person. Well, of course, you might not be this person. This is your spouse. The first thing you will notice about your spouse in this Venus and Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra is that they love being in a relationship. They desperately want to be in a relationship. They want to be in a marriage. They want to be bonded to you. So a person with this Uttara Phalguni Venus will always run into women who want to get married right away, or will run into men who want to settle down right away. They don't care for, they don't care for dating phases. They don't care for, being a fiance for 2 years and then you marry me. No. If we like each other, let's just do it. And especially a person with Uttara Phalguni Venus will meet the right partner late in life. Because this is about later fruits. The fruits of Venus will be given later, not early like Purva Phalguni. So here, it clearly shows that getting the fruits later, you are going to get somebody who has already gone through all the BS of dating and relationship. They were in relationship with someone for 3 years and they were engaged for 1 year. Nothing happened, no marriage. And they're like, that's it. I'm not going to go through this phase again. I want to be in a bondage. And the thing is, Venus represents our ability and our ability to love. And what is it that we look for in a relationship? That's also what Venus is. Like, what type of a relationship do I want to experience? What is my experience of relationship? It's not you, it's your experience of relationship. So such a person will always look for something long term. They're not the type of people who are like, yeah, let's date and figure out how we are. Maybe you like me, maybe you won't like me. Their Uttara Phalguni is just like, all right, you're good, I'm good. You got 2 working hands and legs, me too. We like each other. You're fairly good looking, I'm fairly good looking. We'll make good kids. All right, done deal. Let's do it. And especially because Uttara Phalguni is about long-term contracts. Such people always tend to get relationship which are long-term, marriage which lasts. even if, let's say, Saturn is looking at Venus, conjunct Venus, yes, you will have your trial, turbulences, and tests in a marriage. But this particular Venus will be much more determined to be in that bondage versus some other Venus and some other nakshatra. So that's one of the things you will notice. Because this is a sun-ruled nakshatra, Uttara Phalguni is ruled by sun. Especially for a female, you will run into a male who may have a receding hairline. Receding hairline, and at the same time, whether it's a man or woman, they will have always some sort of a sleep problem. Like they're not able to sleep well, they wake up too early, and they're always grouchy. And especially this will be seen whenever Venus operates in your life. So if you're going through Venus Mahadasha and you marry someone and you have Venus in Uttara Phalguni, well, for 20 years they will be like having restless sleep. And there'll be some excuse to it, whether you have kids and you got to wake up 3 times in the evening to change their diapers, or you're just working late and then getting up early to work. And the other thing we see with Venus, because remember, Venus is arts, creativity, right? Venus is arts, creativity, cinema. Such people, and this is more about the spouse still, but it can also represent your taste in arts. Such people naturally are always great critics of arts, movies, and cinema. So if you, let's say, want to go see a movie, okay? Like the movie It just came out, I want to go see it. So if I want to go see it, I'm going to go to a person who has already seen it to see, hey, how is it? But if I knew about nakshatras in my life, I would only choose to ask the person who has Uttara Phalguni in their birth chart, because they become the excellent critic. When they say the movie sucks, movie will suck. When they say this is the most amazing, brilliant movie I've seen, forget all the other critics. This is a great movie. That movie will turn out to be really great. Because they're natural critiques. They know, they can analyze things. They can see, oh wow, how the movie was, how the coloring was, how the acting was. Because remember, this is a sun-ruled nakshatra. Don't never forget that. Sun is what? Sun is light. What is light? Light is color. What is color? Color is art. What is art? Art is Venus. You see how when you start from the beginning, it kind of like takes you to Venus itself. But what also happens is you will be a natural critic of your spouse. And I'm not talking about spouse this time. I'm talking about you, who has Venus in Uttara Phalguni. You will somehow, some way, even if you don't want to, you will end up criticizing your spouse. Instead of saying that, oh, you look beautiful in this dress, you'll be like, I don't like this color on you. Maybe you should put this. Because the thing is, Uttara Phalguni is a perfectionist. And for them, they love their spouse so much that if they're going out, they want to make sure that, hey, I'm judging you correctly, so you are presented to the world correctly. If I just keep saying to you, oh, you look great, honey, you look great, honey, you look great, honey, you could be wearing the worst thing and people will laugh at you just because I give you that critique that you're looking good every day. But if I tell you that, no, hon, you should not wear, plaid pants at a wedding, whether the other person gets mad or not, and of course they could if they're sensitive, at least you would save them from not being a laughingstock at the wedding. So their critique naturally comes out in everything. And one thing they kind of always deal with is their spouse always telling them, what is wrong with you? Did somebody pretty much messed your mind up early on? Why is it that you always keep criticizing everything? You complain about everything. But the thing is, the complaining is simply their way of making things around them perfect. Because remember, Uttara Phalguni is about taking the kingdom's duty, the king's duty. King has now said that, okay, Aryaman, I want you to take care of my kingdom. Let's take care of the business. Let's take care of bring money in. Let's collect the taxes. Okay, let's do everything. Aryaman is like, yes, my king, I will do that. If you have to do it, I will do it diligently. So now when he goes to the kingdom down in the street, he's making sure everybody's on their toes. He is criticizing everything. No, 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 that's not how it's supposed to be. No, you can't charge everybody this much money. No, you have to pay your taxes. Oh, no, you have to do this. That's why it comes in. It's not the person. You remember, we're playing the Nakshatra story out in the world. Your spouse is not your spouse. Your children are not your children. Your children are simply a script, a written script. You know, like a script writer makes a movie script. It's a script, and then you have your script, and you guys are playing the script together. That's all it is. Look, like it's funny because when I see human beings now, I don't see the human being. I'm seeing like what is the computer programming in this person known as Nakshatra, because they will always to the dot will behave with the script of the Nakshatra. You will never go outside the boundaries of your Nakshatra. You'll never. So let's say if you looked at your birth chart, okay, we looked at your birth Nakshatra, we looked at your Navamsha Nakshatra, we looked at your Dwaradamsa Nakshatra, the D12. Man, D12, beautiful. Little tricks that I learned from Dr. Arjun Pai on D12, because that's your DNA. Those are the real inherent qualities that you're bringing. Beautiful chart when you put the nakshatras in. If a certain nakshatra is not present in the birth Navamsh and Dwaradamsh, you will not live out that script. Even if I told you you're missing this nakshatra, I challenge you to live out that script. You will try to do it as much as you can, you just won't be able to live it out. That's how concrete then astrology becomes. You cannot go outside the nakshatras. You'll go outside the zodiac sign all day long. That's not even the concern anymore. But there's a whole lot more to, Uttara Phalguni, but obviously we have to see the padhas of Venus, and then we have to see what house it's in, if it's on the Leo side of padha, if it's on the, Virgo side of padha. That will make a big difference, because obviously Venus in the Leo side will be much more adventurous, creative. On the Virgo side, it becomes more ethical, much more about the work, much more about the duty, much more about the commitment to the marriage. They're all about making sure that the practicality of the marriage is being played out more than just this hallucination of, honeymoon phase of the marriage. So Venus and actually the Virgo side of Uttara Phalguni is excellent for commitment in marriage, because this is the person who will not care how good looking or bad looking you are. They will not care if you're tall or short. They will not even care if you are the millionaire or multimillionaire. As long as you can provide and be practical, you have a decent ability to provide for the family, they're good with it. But again, like I said, the padha is what will make the difference with additional information about this nakshatra. Whether they like this, they want that, they want that. But the most important thing to notice with this Venus in Uttara Phalguni is that such Venus loves being in a marriage situation. They're just wanting to have that bondage in life, because you're bringing the two perfect energies together. I mean, you've got a planet of commitment and devotion, Venus, and then you got a nakshatra of devotion and commitment, Uttara Phalguni. Marriage made in heaven. So when you see your Venus in Virgo, oh my God, Venus is debilitated, nobody wants to marry me. Remember, Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra people always tend to find someone late in life, in their 30s. So once you know this, don't be like, if you get rejected from, arranged proposals and your 3 girlfriends and 4 boyfriends leave you and you're like, that's it, I give up on relationship. Don't do that, because the right person will come, sweep you off your feet. You will get married to them right away. Okay. So as always, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your Venus is placed and all the other astrological details, all my reports, books, and all the readings, nakshatra readings, check out the links in the description, astrologykrs.com. Otherwise, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, right? I don't know what else I can add in here. It feels hard on the Virgo side. Yes, of course it feels hard on the Virgo side, because what happens is Leo's side of Venus is able to enjoy. They enjoy even when they're single. As much as they want a relationship, they're like, okay, as long as I can just feel that feeling of being in a relationship, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, you want to break up with me? Okay, I'm sorry. I wish I could be with you, but okay. Now Virgo side is like, oh, you want to be in a relationship with me? All right, let's sit. I finally did it. I finally found it. All right, let's get everything together. I'm gonna start preparing for the wedding. Like, what? You want to break up with me? Oh my God, how could you do this to me? I was just preparing for everything. I was like dreaming about our children. And that's where the frustration comes in with Virgo Venus. Virgo Venus creates unnecessary expectation for a long-term relationship. And especially, this is why is it that a debilitated Venus most of the time will give things late in life? Because of this nakshatra in the Virgo side. Okay. So anyway, wow, I spent 21 minutes. I usually spend like what, 10 minutes on a nakshatra. But probably because I'm live. I'm doing this live because I'm just too tired to go downstairs and set up the light and everything. I'm just like, gotta do it now. Okay. So anyway, guys, we'll see you tomorrow with what is that left? Yeah. Oh yeah, Sun in the second house for Capricorn, Sun and people. All right.